So, in this SEO company guide to mum operations, we are looking at Google's new AI milestone that they refer to as mum. And mum stands for multitask unified model. Now, what I've sort of been able to understand about this is that the difference is with this new AI, which is not live yet, by the way, but what it does is it collates, in a way, if you can call it an information tree, where Google years ago already said that things, not strings, so that words are actually things, entities that they can attribute meaning to and interconnect. In the same way, this mum basically learns these information trees, if you want to put it that way. For instance, they use the example about what happens if you had climbed Mount Adams and now you want to hike Mount Fuji, and you want to know what to do differently to prepare. Now, asking a person would be easy. They would be able to say, well, this is what the difference is. But for search engines, it's more difficult. And this is what this mum does, is that it basically collates all the information it knows about Mount Adams and then all the information about Mount Fuji, basically compares the two and then formulates an answer that would either show you resources or actually create language around the answer to give you the information you're looking for. So we can actually see in this animation here, you see it's sort of in action. It's a representational animation. So, and then it will tell you that, there's a certain time you should, it's the rainy season for Mount Fuji, and that at certain times of the year it's better. And it also basically would be able to take the two entities, Mount Fuji and Mount Adams, take the word prepare, and through mum, you would be able to get basically, for instance, the type of equipment you would need. And that's where that word prepare is sort of factored in differently, because they're two different climates. And for instance, there they said altitude sickness may be an issue on Mount Fuji. But basically, its mum collates deep knowledge, interconnected knowledge about things like Mount Adams and Mount Fuji. It then collates and compares, and then basically it can give you a much more relevant answer, because the nuances of saying how to prepare differently is more conversational, when usually search engines give you direct answers. Like, for instance, if we did the test here, we say, what did you need to hike K2? It basically would draw this content where it's basically written just like that. Where with mum, it would actually compare and collate all the information about those two mountains and then come back with what it believes is the best answer. And that's also across different informational formats and media types. For instance, web pages, pictures. You can now, for instance, the idea is you take a picture of the boots and you say, are these appropriate to climb Mount Fuji? And Google would then give you a list, whether it was or was not. So this is not live yet, and it will be live in the future. And they say it's 1,000 times stronger than BERT, and you can more powerful than BERT. And BERT is more about how Google understands language in context of searches, where they say that this multitask unified model, MUM, is 1,000 times more powerful than BERT. So I'm not quite sure how we would be able to understand the 1,000 times more powerful, but basically it's far more superior or powerful, as Google's trying to say. So basically, in layman's terms, Google will take the word Mount Fuji, Mount Adams, prepare. It will then collate and compare the two information trees about Mount Fuji and about Mount Adams, and through the context of the word prepare, meaning that you would need special terrain gear, that you might need a warmer jacket because it's cooler this time of the year, is better to climb. And it basically collates and compares those two trees and then gives you a meaningful answer. It also creates language. So it may give you different resources, like different results, rich results, but Google's done that in the past. But it could also come back with language created, a paragraph to answer that question. And it's really what this article basically sort of suggests. And you can see they say here the word prepare, and then the Mount Fuji and the Mount Adams. And then they would, comparing the two mountains, they would say there's elevation. And then, so it's the context of what you intend to do through the language you input and giving you an answer that's more relevant. So thank you for watching this SEO company guide to mum operations. Please read the relevant article that will be in the description of this video. They are meant to go together, and thank you very much.